This is exactly how I train 5 days a week, my full split, what I work each day, and how I structure my workouts so I'm building muscle while leaning out. First day, Mondays, glutes and quads. Mondays are my glutes and quads day, and this is one of my heavier lower body workouts because I like starting the week feeling strong and locked in. I treat this day as a foundation day for the rest of my week, so I really focus on good form, controlled movements, and progressively increasing in the weight instead of just trying to rush through everything. I wanna actually feel the muscles working, especially my glutes, because that makes a huge difference for growth. I always start this workout with abductions to activate my glutes. I've learned that if my glutes aren't warmed up properly, I end up feeling everything way more in my quads or lower back. I do 4 working sets of abductions, increasing the weight every set, and I add a drop set to each one. This already gets my glutes burning, and it helps with mind to muscle connection before I move into heavier lifts. After that, I go straight into hip thrusts, which are a must for me on any glute focus day. They are my holy grail. So I do 4 sets total, with the first set being a warm-up set just to get comfortable with the movement and prepare my body for heavier weight. Then I move into 3 working sets, increasing the weight each set. During hip thrusts, I really focus on squeezing my glutes at the top, keeping the movement controlled and not rushing the reps. I want constant tension instead of just throwing the weight up. Once I finish hip thrusts, I move on to step ups. These are actually one of my favorite exercises because they work both glutes and quads while also helping with the balance and strength. I do 3 working sets of step ups and increase the weight each set. I make sure I'm stepping through my heel and keeping my chest up so I'm not using momentum or turning it into a cardio move. After step ups, I go into quad extensions to isolate my quads and really finish them off. I do 4 sets total, starting with 1 warm-up set and then 3 working sets using drop sets. This is usually where the burn really kicks in, and I slow everything down, focusing on fully extending my legs and controlling the weight on the way down. To end the workout, I finish with Bulgarian split squats. These are hard, but they're so effective for building strength and shape in both the quads and glutes. I do 3 working sets and increase the weight each time, but I still keep my form as my main priority. I focus on depth, control, and keeping tension on my legs the entire time. By the end of this workout, my legs feel completely exhausted, but in the best way. I always leave feeling accomplished because I know I pushed myself and really worked my glutes and quads. This day sets the tone for the rest of my training week and plays a big role in helping me lose fat while building muscle in my lower body. Second day, Tuesday, back and biceps and core. Tuesdays are my back and biceps day, and I really enjoy this workout because it gives my legs a break while still being challenging and intense. Upper body days are just as important to me as lower body days, especially when it comes to building balance and overall strength. I like to take my time on this day and focus on good form and muscle connection instead of just lifting heavy for the sake of it. I always start my workout with lat pull downs because they're a great way to activate my back and get everything warmed up. I do 4 sets total, starting with 1 warm-up set to prepare my muscles and joints. After that, I move into 3 working sets, increasing the weight of each set. While doing lat pull downs, I really focus on pulling with my elbows in rather than my hands and squeezing my back at the bottom of my rep. I also control the movement on the way back up so I'm not letting the weight take over. After lat pull downs, I move into single arm rows. I like these a lot because they help target each side of my back individually and help correct any strength imbalances. I do 3 working sets of single arm rows and increase the weight each set while keeping the movement slow and controlled. I make sure my core is engaged and that I'm not jerking the weight. Once my back is fully worked, I move on to biceps. For bicep curls, I keep things simple and do 3 working sets using the same weight for all 3 sets. Instead of trying to go heavier each set, I focus on clean reps and proper form for this. I make sure I'm not swinging the weights or using momentum and that I'm fully controlling the movement from start to finish. After bicep curls, I move into assisted pull-ups. I do 3 working sets using assistance and focusing on using my body weight as much as possible. These are definitely challenging, but they've helped me build strength over time and improve my overall back development. I focus on getting a full stretch at the top and pulling all the way through the movement. After pull-ups, I finish my upper body work with face pulls. I do 4 sets total, starting with 1 warm-up set and 3 working sets where I increase the weight each time. Face pulls are really important for posture and rear delts, so I make sure to keep the movement controlled and squeeze at the end of each rep. To finish the workout, I end with core. My core circuit stays the same each time, and I go through weighted V setups for 12 reps, lateral raises for 10 reps, in and outs for 30 reps, weighted sit-ups for 12 reps, and crunches for 15 reps just to give that little burn. I don't rush through this part and really focus on engaging my core the entire time. This day helps me build a strong upper body while keeping my waist tight and balanced with my lower body, which is important for my overall fitness goals. Third day, glute focused. Wednesdays are fully dedicated to glutes, and this is honestly one of my favorite workouts of the week because I can really isolate and target them without putting too much focus on my quads. This day is more about feeling the muscle work, the actual muscle, building shape and improving strength over time rather than lifting as heavy as possible. I go into this workout already knowing I need to be patient with each movement and really lock in on my form. I will start with abductions to activate my glutes, as I said on my first day, and make sure they're firing properly before moving into any bigger exercises. I do 4 sets of abductions and include a drop set, which really helps pre-exhaust the glutes and make everything else feel way more effective. I increase the weight as I go, and I focus on keeping constant tension instead of rushing through the reps. This part already gets my glutes burning and helps with the mind to muscle connection. After activation, I move straight into hip thrust. Hip thrusts are a main lift for me on glute days, especially on glute days. So I take my time setting up and getting comfortable. I do 4 sets total, starting with 1 warm-up set just to get used to the movement and prepare my body. Then I do 3 working sets, increasing the weight each set. During hip thrusts, I focus on squeezing my glutes at the top, keeping my chin tucked and controlling the weight on the way down. I'm not trying to rush through the reps or bounce the weight or overarch my back because I want every rep to count. Once I finish hip thrusts, I move into step ups. I do 3 working sets and increase the weight each set. I really focus on driving through my heel and keeping tension on my glutes the entire time. I make sure I'm not pushing off too much with my back leg and that I'm staying controlled throughout the movement. I just tap my foot on the ground. That's it. After step ups, I move into kickbacks. These are great for isolating the glutes and finishing them off. I do 3 working sets and increase the weight each time. But I keep the movement slow and controlled so I'm not using momentum. Especially with this exercise, you don't want to use momentum. I focus on squeezing my glutes at the top every rep and keeping my core tight. This workout isn't about lifting the heaviest weight possible, but about really feeling the muscle work and making sure my glutes are doing the job. By the end of the session, my glutes are completely fatigued, but in a good way. I always leave feeling like I really put in the work. This day always plays a big role in helping me build muscle while leaning out because it allows me to focus on shape, strength, and consistency. Having a glute focus day like this helps me make progress without overtraining other muscle groups and keeps my routine balanced. 4th day, Thursdays, back, triceps, and shoulders, plus core. Thursdays are my back, triceps, and shoulders day, and this is usually one of my longer upper body workouts because I'm training multiple muscle groups in one session. I like this day because it helps keep my upper body balanced and strong while still supporting my overall goals of losing fat and building muscle. I go into this workout knowing it's going to take some time, so I focus on pacing myself and keeping my form solid throughout. I always start with lat pull downs to get my back warmed up and activated. I do 4 sets total, with the first set being warm up to prepare my muscles and joints. After that, I move into 3 working sets and increase the weight each time. During lat pull downs, I focus on pulling my elbows in, squeezing my back at the bottom, and controlling the movement on the way up. Once I finish lat pull downs, I move into single arm rows. Again, I know it's similar to my Tuesdays, but stay with me. I do 3 working sets of single arm rows and increase the weight each set while keeping my form strict. I make sure my core is engaged and that I'm not using momentum to move the weight. After rows, I move into rear delt flies. I do 3 working sets and increase the weight each time, but I keep the movement slow and controlled. I really focus on targeting my rear delts and upper back, making sure I'm not swinging the weight. After that, I move into dumbbell shoulder press. I do 3 working sets and increase the weight each set while keeping tension on my shoulders the entire time. I make sure I'm not locking out my elbows at the top and that I'm controlling the weight on the way down. Once shoulders are done, I move into triceps. I do tricep pushdowns for 4 working sets and increase the weight each set. I focus on squeezing my triceps at the bottom of the movement and keeping my elbows in place so I'm not using my shoulders. And to finish the workout, I end with core, using the same core circuit I do on Tuesdays. I go through weighted V sit-ups for 12 reps, lateral raises for 10 reps, in and outs for 30 reps, weighted sit-ups for 12 reps, and crunches for 15 reps for a burnout. I don't rush through this part and really focus on engaging my core the entire time. It only takes about 15 minutes to do. This workout helps build upper body strength, improve balance, and support my overall fat loss and muscle building goals while keeping my routine consistent and effective. 5th day, Fridays, glutes, hamstrings, and calves. Fridays are my glutes, hamstrings, and calves day, and this is how I like to finish the week, feeling strong and accomplished just the way I started it. This workout brings everything together from the week and really focuses on the backside of my lower body. I go into the session knowing my legs are already a little tired from earlier workouts, so I focus even more on form control and actually feeling the muscles work instead of just chasing heavy weight. I always start with abductions to activate my glutes and get them firing before moving into heavier lifts. I do 4 working sets of abductions and include a drop set for each one. This really helps wake up my glutes and make sure they're doing the work during the rest of the workout. I increase the weight as I go and I keep constant tension so I'm not rushing through reps. After abductions, I move into hip thrusts. I do 4 sets total, starting with 1 warm-up set to get comfortable with the movement and prepare my body. Then I move into 3 working sets and increase the weight each time. During hip thrusts, I focus on squeezing my glutes at the top, keeping the movement controlled and not rushing through the reps, like always. I make sure my setup feels solid so I can get the most out of each set. Once I finish hip thrusts, I move into hamstring curls. I do 3 working sets and increase the weight of each set. I focus on slow controlled reps and really squeezing my hamstrings at the top of the movement. I also make sure I'm not letting the weight drop too fast because controlling the negative makes a big difference. After hamstring curls, I move into RDLs. I do 4 sets total, starting with 1 warm-up set and then 3 working sets when I increase the weight each time. I focus on hinging probably at the hips, keeping my back neutral and feeling a deep stretch in my hamstrings. I take my time with this movement and make sure I'm not rushing through the reps or turning it into a lower back exercise. Now, with RDLs, it's a lot different for shorter girls than taller girls. Taller girls, because we have more of a range of motion, we're only going about just past our knees or just, where your mid shin is. Shorter girls, you will be going probably all the way to the ground, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We just have different range of motions. So don't be discouraged as a taller woman if you're just going past your knees while you're looking at a girl next to you or whoever going all the way to the ground. Don't copy them, do what you need to do, because if you go further down, you're gonna be using your lower back way more, which is not the goal. To finish the workout, I end with standing calf raises. I do 4 working sets and increasing the weight each time. I focus on getting a full stretch at the bottom and squeezing my calves at the top of each rep. I don't bounce through these and really control the movement. By the end of this workout, my lower body feels completely worked, but in a good way. This day helps balance my lower body development and supports my fat loss and muscle building goals while wrapping up my training week on a strong note. If you found this video valuable, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more fitness and health related content, specifically for us girls who want to achieve our dream body, mind, soul, and spirit. Stay consistent, stay confident, and I'll see you in the next one.